My wife said she was visiting family, but I tracked her location and saw this. It started like any average Friday. The sun dipped lazily behind the skyline, casting long amber shadows over Sydney's northern suburbs. I just limped through one exhausting workday. Our main printing machine had thrown a tantrum at the worst time, right before a major client delivery. 10 hours later, my hands were still coated in machine grease, my shirt stank of toner and frustration, and I was a few neurons short of a breakdown. All I wanted was a cold drink, a hot shower, and if the stars aligned, a quiet evening with my wife. My name's Cameron. I'm 42, run a mid-sized printing company in Sydney, and I consider myself a pretty average guy. I like my coffee strong, my peace undisturbed, and my family intact. Louise, my wife of 15 years, used to be the calm in my storm. We met in our 20s, back when she was full of fire and ambition and I was all wide-eyed and printer ink. She was the kind of woman who could walk into a room and make the air feel charged. We had 2 daughters together, Carrie, our sharp-as-nails 18-year-old university student who could out-debate a politician, and Sarah, our 15-year-old free spirit who floated through life like a sunflower on a breeze. The house was quiet when I walked in. The girls were both gone for the weekend, Carrie off with her boyfriend Robbie, Sarah staying at a friend's place, leaving Louise and me with a rare bit of alone time. I was honestly hopeful. We'd been off. Distant. Cold even. I chalked it up to life being life. Stress. Work. Hormones. Whatever excuse makes betrayal feel less like being gutted. I poured myself a Coke and cranberry, flopped on the kitchen stool, and let the music soothe me. That's when I heard the click of heels on hardwood. She walked in, looking like she stepped off a fashion shoot. Hair slicked back. Makeup flawless. Dress hugging every curve like it owed her money. My heart stuttered a beat. And then shattered. "You look good, my love," she said casually, placing her bloated purse on the table. Something was off. I could feel it. She looked radiant but vacant. That smile? Hollow. Like someone had taxidermied the woman I loved and put her on a twisted display. "Sorry, Lou," I muttered, "I'm beaten. No energy for dinner tonight." Her smile didn't falter, but her eyes did something weird. Flickered. "I see." It sent a chill right through me. "It's okay, Cam," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "I didn't plan for you to come." My Coke and cranberry suddenly tasted like betrayal. "You didn't plan?" I eyed her up and down. The outfit. The heels. The purse was packed like she was going on a weekend getaway. Every nerve in my body started screaming at once. "Why are you dressed like you're going to a gala?" She paused. A moment of hesitation, like she'd been caught mid-theft. "Are you leaving me?" I asked, my voice cracking under the weight of sudden, crushing dread. "No. Of course not," she replied, reaching out. I pulled away like her fingers were fire. "Then what is this? You dress like a movie star, pack your bag like you're not coming back, and you expect me not to ask questions." My voice rose. She sighed. "Cam, we both work so hard. I need this. I've been seeing someone. Roger." My blood turned to ice. "Roger. Roger Forth. The guy from your office with 3 kids and a wedding ring tattooed to his finger." She nodded. My jaw dropped so fast it could have cracked the tile. The room spun. I gripped the counter just to stay upright. "He's been good to me," she whispered. "Especially since you weren't here." And that was the moment. The snap. That invisible thread holding together my faith, my trust, my patience, it all snapped. "You want to talk about not being here? I bust my back 14 hours a day to keep this house running. I tried to be with you, heck, I begged to reconnect. But you pushed me away. And now this? Roger." My voice was thunder. Louise didn't flinch. She looked almost smug. She dared to claim it wasn't cheating because she told me. "I'm telling you, so it's not cheating," she reasoned, as if that logic wasn't absolute nonsense. That's when I laughed. I laughed so hard I scared myself. "You're unbelievable. Do you think this is some kind of noble journey? That honesty wipes the slate clean." "Cam, you don't get it," she snapped. "Roger says." "I don't care what Roger says." And just when I thought the knife couldn't twist any deeper, she dropped the bombshell. "If you make this difficult, Roger says we'll take you for everything. I'll get the house, the girls, even your company. He's got connections." "Oh, absolutely not." She touched my shoulder, a smug half-smile on her lips as if she'd already won the war. "Don't touch me," I growled, stepping back. For a moment, we just stood there, 2 strangers wearing wedding rings. I looked into her eyes and realized the woman I married was gone, replaced by someone colder, calculated, callous. "Forget this," I muttered, pushing past her toward the porch. I sat outside, drink in hand, trying not to cry, trying not to fall apart. But I did. The sound of a car horn pulled me from my spiral. Louise was leaving, and I realized then, I wasn't just watching my wife walk out on me. I was watching my life unravel. Just as I thought the nightmare couldn't get worse, the phone in my pocket buzzed. It was my daughter Carrie, calling unexpectedly. And what she asked me next made my heart stop. The phone buzzed again. I wiped my face, tried to steady my breathing, and checked the screen. "Carrie." I almost didn't answer. I wasn't ready to fake cheerful or pretend like my heart hadn't just been tossed into a blender. But something about her calling, something in the timing, felt urgent. "Hey, sweetheart," I said, trying to mask the tremble in my voice. "Dad." Her voice was unusually sharp and alert. "Where's Mom?" That question was a dagger. I hesitated. "She's out." "Yeah, I figured that," she replied. "I left my weekend bag at home. Robbie and I are headed back to grab it." We tried calling Mom, no answer. Twice. I looked back toward the empty hallway. I could still smell Louise's perfume lingering like smoke after a fire. "I'll leave your bag by the garage door. Just swing by and grab it." "Dad." Carrie's voice was low, suspicious. "Who's Roger?" My throat closed. My grip tightened around the phone. Sorry. I meant Robbie. I don't know why I said Roger." She didn't speak for a second. Then she hit me with it. "What did Mom do?" I froze. I could almost hear the gears turning in her head through the phone. "Dad," she said again, this time more forcefully. "Don't lie to me. You're avoiding it. I can feel it." "What did Mom do?" I swallowed hard, fighting the lump in my throat. "It's complicated, honey." "Dad." Her voice cracked like a whip. "Don't protect her. If she hurt you, you need to say it. You owe yourself that. How did my baby girl become this fierce overnight?" I sighed. "She's seeing someone. His name is Roger. From her work. He's married, Carrie. She left tonight to be with him." Nothing. Just silence on the line. And then, "That's messed up. She said it wasn't cheating because she told me?" I said, unable to stop the bitterness from bleeding through. "That's not how cheating works," Carrie snapped. "She's been ice cold for weeks and now we know why. Please don't let this ruin your weekend," I murmured, already feeling like the universe's biggest buzzkill. She ignored me. "We're turning around. I'll be there in 15. "Carrie." Too late. She'd already hung up. I set her bag by the garage door, took a few deep breaths, and tried not to look like someone whose entire life had just been carpet bombed. I didn't want my daughter to see me broken. But when she burst through the back door, there was no hiding it. "Are you okay, Dad?" she asked, eyes wide, voice tight with concern. I was in the middle of sweeping up broken glass from the porch, the remnants of my favorite glass, shattered in my earlier rage. The pieces caught the fading sunlight, glittering like little shards of betrayal. "I'm fine, sweetheart," I lied, trying to sound casual. She stepped closer, and then saw the mess. Saw me. "Robbie," she called out. "Come here." Her boyfriend, Robbie, the golden boy, entered behind her, face pinched with worry. He didn't say a word, just stood there, taking in the emotional wreckage. Carrie pulled out a chair and sat down across from me. She grabbed both of my hands, hers warm and steady. "Talk." I didn't want to. I didn't want to relive it, but it came tumbling out. The dress, the purse, the smug look, the name Roger, the threat to take everything, the way she walked out like it was just another Friday night. I didn't hold back. By the time I finished, even Robbie looked shaken. "Doesn't Mom remember the prenup?" Carrie asked, incredulous. I nodded slowly. "Apparently not. Or she thought I'd be too stunned to fight back." Carrie's jaw clenched. "She's not just cheating on you, Dad. She's gambling with us, our family, our lives." "I know. And Roger." She nearly spat the name. "Does his wife know?" "Not yet," I said. "But I plan to find her." Carrie's expression hardened. "Good." Then came the quiet knock on the sliding door. Rose and Toby, our closest friends. My ex-girlfriend, her now husband, and two of the best people in our lives. They brought food, comfort, and something else I didn't expect, answers. Because within the next few hours, they weren't just sitting with me through the fallout. They were about to become part of it. As we gathered on the porch to process the shock, Sarah's name popped up on Carrie's phone. The words she whispered into the receiver? They'd change everything we thought we knew about Louise's betrayal. The phone call from Sarah wasn't just unsettling, it was a lightning strike through our already crumbling foundation. Carrie sat frozen, her phone clutched tightly to her ear. Her eyes darted toward me, then away as she listened in silence. Finally, she lowered the phone, her lips parted like she wanted to speak but didn't know where to start. "What is it?" I asked, already bracing for another emotional hit. "She knew," Carrie said flatly. "Sarah knew. Weeks ago." The weight of that sentence cracked something in me. I stood up too fast, the legs of my chair screeching against the porch tiles. "She knew." "She didn't know it all," Carrie rushed to explain. "But she saw enough. New underwear. Weird behavior. Mom telling her it was for a special guy, not you. She didn't tell us because she didn't know how. I sank back down into my chair, stunned. My 15-year-old daughter's been carrying this alone? Rose leaned forward from her spot beside Toby. That's not just emotional weight. That's trauma. She needs to talk to someone. No, I whispered, rubbing my temples. She needs to talk to me first. Sarah arrived an hour later. Her usual carefree vibe was gone. She looked small, not physically but emotionally, like someone had peeled away the sunny layers of her soul and left her raw. She stepped into the kitchen where we'd all relocated. Her eyes flicked around the room. She didn't even flinch when she saw Rose and Toby. She walked over to me slowly, then stopped just short. I'm sorry, Dad. That nearly broke me. I stood up and pulled her into a hug, feeling her shake against me. It's not your fault, I said. You didn't do this. She sniffled. But I didn't stop it. You're a kid, Carrie said softly. This wasn't your job to fix. It was hers not to wreck. Robbie nodded. You did what most people your age would have done, try to pretend it wasn't real. Sarah gave a watery laugh. That's exactly what I did. I didn't want to see it, so I didn't. We sat in silence for a moment. Then she turned to me. She told me, Dad, that you'd never see the underwear. That you'd never see her like that again. She was angry and I didn't know what to say. Those words hit me like a sledgehammer. I squeezed my eyes shut. How could someone weaponize their own child like that? Toby, ever the calm one, finally spoke. So what now? That was the question, wasn't it? I took a breath. Now we fight back. Carrie immediately perked up. Wait, fight back how? I've got the prenup. And if Louise thinks I'm just going to roll over and let her take everything, she's forgotten who I am. I explained the terms. Betrayal equals forfeiture. She'd walk away with only 15% of our joint assets and nothing from my business. Rose raised an eyebrow. Do you have proof? I've got our backyard security footage. And I can export it. There's audio. There's her confession. There's her walking out with that overstuffed bag. Toby let out a low whistle. That's a goldmine in court. I'm not stopping there, I said, my voice steady now. I'm going to find Roger's wife. She deserves to know. And if I have to torch every lie they've built, so be it. You're not doing it alone, Carrie said firmly. We're with you. All of us. Even Sarah nodded. I'll help. Whatever you need. That night, as everyone finally trickled off to bed or curled up on couches, I sat alone at the kitchen table with my laptop. I logged into the security system. Found the footage. Exported it. I also opened Find My Phone. Louise's phone pinged in the Blue Mountains. I screenshotted the location and saved it. She wasn't even pretending to hide. Then I began drafting an email to my lawyer. I attached the footage, outlined the prenup terms, and included everything I remembered Louise saying, the threats, the names, the timelines. My finger hovered over send. Then my phone buzzed again. A voicemail. From Louise. And when I played it, her voice, accompanied by Roger's sickening laughter, poured out threats I wasn't ready for. If you do anything stupid, we'll destroy you. Wait your turn. Play nice and maybe I'll come back. Maybe. But if you make trouble, Roger's going to bury you. That voicemail? It was the moment I stopped being a husband trying to save a marriage and became a man preparing for war. By morning, I hadn't slept a second. How could I? That voicemail from Louise, cold, smug, and dripping with veiled threats, played in my head like a taunt I couldn't turn off. Roger will destroy you. Challenge accepted. As the sun clawed its way over the rooftops, I sat hunched over my laptop with bleary eyes and an adrenaline high that wouldn't let me rest. I finally hit send on the email to my lawyer. Everything was attached, the security footage, the Find My Phone screenshot of Louise and Roger hiding out in the mountains, and the voicemail audio file. I didn't just want a divorce. I wanted her served at work. Publicly. Let her walk in all proud and smug only to be handed her downfall by a manila envelope and a process server with a poker face. Did she want drama? She was about to get a front row seat. Around 9 a.m., Carrie and Robbie came into the kitchen. They looked as tired as I felt. Coffee? Robbie offered, already reaching for the grinder. You read my mind, I said, offering him a weak smile. Sarah stumbled in a few minutes later, still wrapped in a blanket like a burrito of misery. She slumped into a chair and blinked slowly. You okay, Peanut? I asked. No. But I'll get there. She meant it. You could see the cracks, but you could also see the steel starting to form beneath. My girls were fighters. I explained what I'd done overnight. The lawyer. The recordings. The voicemail. Carrie's eyes went wide. She actually said that? On tape? I nodded and played it for them. By the time it ended, Sarah looked sick. Carrie looked furious. Robbie looked like he wanted to throw a chair. This woman is unrecognizable, Carrie muttered. And Roger's laugh? I want to bleach my ears. I want to contact Roger's wife, I said. She deserves to know. I can help find her, Sarah offered, already pulling out her phone. Mom used to tag her in Facebook posts. I can check. At 10:15, the doorbell rang. We weren't expecting anyone. Carrie peeked through the peephole. It's Mom, she whispered. And she's not alone. My stomach flipped. Roger. The man himself. Standing on my doorstep like he had the moral high ground. And Louise beside him, arms crossed, wearing her I'm not here for a fight, but I'm ready to ruin you face. Before anyone could stop me, I walked to the door and opened it. Well, Roger said, flashing a smirk. There's our little printer boy. You're not welcome here, I said, voice low. Too bad, Louise snapped. We need to talk. Now. Not happening. Oh, it's happening, Roger said, stepping inside without permission. Sarah appeared from the hallway. I'm recording, she announced, holding up her phone. Louise flinched. Roger didn't care. Cute. You think a recording's going to stop me? He sneered. We told you to keep quiet. Instead, you poked the bear? I poked the truth, I snapped. And now the truth's about to bite you both. Roger stepped closer, towering over me. I should rearrange your face for that tone. I didn't flinch. Do it. Let's make sure this gets a criminal charge attached to it, too. Louise grabbed his arm. Stop it, Roger. This is not the time. But Roger was already revved up. He reached for my phone and smashed it against the floor. A beat of silence. Then Sarah's voice cut through, mine still recording. That was the moment Roger realized he'd walked into a trap. 5 minutes later, the police were on their way. Sarah called them while Louise screamed obscenities. I had to physically restrain Roger from lunging at me again. Carrie stood guard like a bouncer, glaring daggers at her mother. When the officers arrived, the chaos exploded. Louise tried to lie. Said I had attacked Roger. Until Sarah calmly handed over the USB stick. Here's the whole thing. From the moment they walked in, my mom sided with this man even after he assaulted my father. I don't feel safe around her anymore. That was the nail in the coffin. Louise's face turned ashen. Her hands trembled. But she didn't say a word as the officers handcuffed Roger and walked him out. Not a single word. She didn't even ask if we were okay. She just looked back once with a stare that said, this isn't over. As I watched the squad car pull away, my phone pinged with a new message, this time from someone I hadn't expected. It was Miranda Forth, Roger's wife. And she had a plan of her own. I stared at the text on my screen like it was a mirage. Hi. My name is Miranda. I'm Roger's wife. I think we need to talk urgently. That name, that voice of calm devastation, it hit me harder than anything Louise had said in months. Because here was someone else, blindsided, torn apart, and standing in the wreckage of her own home. I texted back. I'm Cameron, husband of Louise. Say when and where. She responded within seconds. Today. Coffee. My place. No kids. Just truth. I looked at Carrie. You think I should go? She didn't even hesitate. Go. But record it. All of it. By noon, I was sitting across from Miranda Forth in a white-tiled kitchen that looked like it belonged in a home magazine, except now it held the stale air of betrayal and burnt trust. She was wearing jeans and a baggy sweater, her hair in a messy bun. But her eyes? Her eyes were sharp. I had my suspicions, she began without pleasantries. But Roger's a professional gaslighter. Every time I brought up his late nights or the hotel receipts or the way he changed his passwords, he'd flip it on me. I thought I was losing my mind. I know the feeling, I said, voice hoarse. Louise used to come home smelling like a different soap. Said it was a new body wash. Turns out it was the hotel's. Miranda snorted bitterly. They met at least 9 times over 2 months. I checked his travel logs. Matched them to her tagged Instagram stories. That woman is either arrogant, stupid, or both. Both, I said. Definitely both. Then Miranda dropped the hammer. I want in. I blinked. In? On whatever you're planning, she said, leaning in. You're suing her. You're exposing them. Good. But I can go further. Roger's got a secret account. One he uses for expenses. I raised an eyebrow. How do you know? Because I helped set it up. When we first got married, I did the books for his side gigs. I know every financial trick he uses. She got up, rummaged through a drawer, and returned with a thin red notebook. This has it all. Password hints. Transfer schedules. Even his backup phone number. He used it for things he didn't want to be traced. I stared at the notebook like it was gold. You're seriously handing me this? Miranda's voice was steady. He ruined my life. I want him ruined back. And if Louise thinks she can play innocent, just wait till she finds out I've got screenshots of every text she ever sent to him. She wasn't discreet. By 3 p.m. I was home, notebook in hand, a phone full of damning evidence, and a mind buzzing with possibilities. Carrie, Sarah, and Rose were gathered at the table. Robbie had gone home to check on his own family, and Toby was running damage control with his cousin, who, small world alert, also worked with Roger. I met Miranda, I said, dropping the notebook on the table. She's on our team now. Carrie opened it and whistled. This is like the nuclear codes. She gave us everything, I said, including text history, burner accounts, and login info to a shared Google Drive they were dumb enough to use. Wait, Sarah said, eyes wide. You mean like videos? My stomach dropped. Possibly. Rose put a hand on my arm. You sure you're ready to open that file? I have to be, I said. If this is what nails her to the legal wall, then I need to know what's in there. We gathered around the laptop. I opened the folder labeled meetings, hands trembling. Inside? Photos. Screenshots. Even 2 grainy video files. Carrie clicked the first one. There was Louise. On a hotel bed. Laughing. Wearing something I'd never seen before and never should have. Roger's voice is off camera, saying things I can't even repeat. Not for the internet. Not for myself. Sarah turned away. I can't. I shut the laptop. My hands were shaking. Enough, I said. We have what we need. I'm so sorry, Dad, Carrie whispered, wrapping her arms around me. And for the first time since this started, I let myself cry. As I wiped my eyes, my phone buzzed again. A new number. A blocked caller. I answered, and a voice whispered, You think Miranda's on your side? She's playing you both. Hello? I answered, my voice still hoarse from hours of emotional whiplash. Cameron. Listen to me. The voice was hushed, tense. Masculine. You don't know me. I work with Miranda. She's not what she seems. My chest tightened. I stepped out to the porch, away from the others. What are you talking about? She's not just mad at Roger, he said. She's been planning this for a while. She knew. About the affair. For months. She just waited until it suited her to say something. Why would she do that? To take Roger's money. All of it. And if you're not careful, she'll burn you to get it. The line went dead. I stared at the phone, a knot twisting deep in my gut. Was it true? Had I just handed over my enemy's ammunition to someone playing a longer game? I didn't tell the girls yet. Not Carrie. Not Sarah. Not even Rose. Instead, I messaged Miranda. Hey, quick question. How long exactly have you known about them? She left me on reading for 20 minutes. Then? Why? Just trying to keep my facts straight. Any info helps. Another 10 minutes passed. Then finally. I had suspicions in March. Didn't confirm until late April. That was weeks longer than she originally said. I called Toby. Hey, I said, pacing the patio. I need a favor. Can you check on Miranda? Quietly? She might be playing both sides. He didn't hesitate. Got it. Discreet and fast. That night, I barely touched dinner. My mind kept racing through the what-ifs. Carrie noticed. Dad, you're doing that storm cloud face again. What's up? Just tired, I lied. She didn't buy it, but she let it go. Later, after everyone had gone to bed, I opened the red notebook again. Flipping through the pages, I noticed something weird, a post-it note tucked between 2 pages. In Miranda's handwriting, one word, leverage. Underneath it, a list of asset accounts. Not just Roger's. Mine. Business accounts. My business accounts. I broke out in a cold sweat. How did she get that? I checked every system. Every login. There it was 3 days ago, a failed login attempt from a device in Miranda's suburb. She tried to get in. The next morning, I arranged a check-in meeting with Miranda. She greeted me at her front door like everything was normal. Coffee? Or did you want to skip straight to business? She asked. Let's do business. We sat across from each other again, but this time I didn't lean in. I stared. Measured. Watched every blink. I was looking through that notebook again, I said casually. Really thorough stuff. Thanks, she said. Took years to gather. Irony, huh? You even had my business accounts in there. She didn't flinch. Did I? You know you did. A silence stretched. Then she set her mug down. Look, Cam. I'm not the villain here. I was protecting my future. You think Louise isn't going to come for you with fangs bared? Sure, I said slowly. But I didn't expect you to do it too. You're trusting too easily, she said coldly. Everyone plays the game, Cam. Some of us just admit it. I stood. We're done here. Good luck with your crusade, she said, smiling faintly. But just remember, when the fire spreads, even the ones who started it can get burned. I got home and told Carrie everything. She wasn't surprised. I didn't like her vibe. Something was always off. Doesn't matter, I said. We've still got what we need. We use the footage. We go public. We go legal. And we shut this entire circus down. Carrie smirked. Ready to go viral? You have no idea. That night, she helped me draft the post. A full expose, screenshots, timelines, audio clips with names redacted for now. A clear, brutal narrative. By midnight, it was live. By morning, it had exploded. Hundreds of shares. Dozens of angry DMs. People recognized Louise's voice. One commenter tagged Roger's employer. Then I got a message from Louise. You want war? You got it. Let's see how your company survives this. An hour later, I got the call I'd been dreading. My biggest client. Pulling out. Citing bad optics. Louise had struck the first blow, and now I had to decide whether to burn her professionally or legally. The moment I hung up with my biggest client, I sat in silence. A different kind of pain settled in my chest, not heartbreak, not betrayal, but professional devastation. My company was more than a job. It was my legacy, my anchor, the one thing Louise hadn't touched until now. And she was coming for it with teeth bared. She'd called suppliers. Spread rumors. Claimed I was emotionally unstable and violent. That I'd fabricated the videos. She was betting on silence, fear, and reputation rot. What she didn't know. I'd already lawyered up. Within 24 hours, my lawyer filed for an emergency protection order. Louise had defamed me in multiple professional circles, and we had her calls, her emails, and even a recording of her telling Roger to smear his name till it sinks. On top of that, we submitted the full video files to the family court paired with the prenup, her voicemail threats, and the post she herself commented on under a burner account. Sloppy. Meanwhile, Carrie coordinated with 2 IT friends to help track the source of the fake reviews that had started flooding my business page. Guess what? Same IP as Louise's office. Sarah, bless her heart, was gathering statements from her friends, testimonies about Louise's behavior, how she spoke about Roger openly, even bragged about ditching the boring printer man. My kids? Were lions. And I was done playing the lamb. The court hearing for the emergency order was brutal. Louise cried Academy Award style. Claimed I'd been controlling, unfaithful, and paranoid. Her crocodile tears could have filled a kiddie pool. But then my lawyer played the voicemail. Roger will destroy you if you make trouble. Silence. And then the security footage. Louise packed the bag, leaving, saying I didn't plan for you to be here. And finally, the arrest footage. Roger screamed as the cops cuffed him. Louise stood there, arms folded, while her children begged her to explain herself. When the judge spoke, his tone was ice. Mrs. Wright, you have weaponized your relationship, your children, and your influence with malicious intent. You are hereby restricted from contacting Mr. Wright's clients, suppliers, or professional partners until further notice. Additionally, your visitation rights are suspended pending psychological evaluation. Game. Set. Match. After the hearing, Carrie and Sarah met me in the parking lot. Sarah held up a milkshake like a victory trophy. Chocolate, she grinned. The flavor of justice. We laughed. For real. For the first time in what felt like years. And then came the last blow. My lawyer leaned in. We uncovered another account. Offshore. Roger transferred funds into it 2 weeks ago. Louise was listed as a beneficiary. Unreported income. Fraud. Violation of spousal asset transparency. The works. Within a week, the court froze that account and launched a formal investigation. I didn't just win. Louise lost everything she tried to steal. The house? Mine. The company? Secured. Custody? Temporarily awarded to me. Roger? Fired. Divorced. Sued. Miranda? Quietly offered me a heartfelt apology and walked away. Whether mean it. Doesn't matter. Because I was standing tall again. Not perfect. Not unscarred. But free. It's been 5 months. Louise now lives in a studio apartment outside town. Occasionally emails forgiveness letters she probably found off Pinterest. I don't respond. Carrie is thriving in law school. Says she wants to become a family attorney. Sarah's painting again. Her latest piece? A roaring lion. She says it's me. And me? I learned that trust is a currency you don't spend twice. I learned that betrayal doesn't destroy you, it reveals what you're made of. And I learned that when life burns your house down, sometimes you rebuild with brick, steel, and a better security system. To everyone out there thinking, I'd never let that happen to me, don't be so sure. People don't wear betrayal on their faces. It creeps in slowly. With smiles. With silence. With stories about he's just a friend. But when it comes, stand up. Speak out. And never ever let the liar write your ending. So I ask you, what would you do if your kids were the only thing keeping you from falling apart? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Because somewhere out there, someone else is standing at the edge. And maybe your words are the ones that pull them back. Stay strong. Stay smart. And never underestimate a quiet man with receipts. Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.